Hey guys, what is going on? Today we are going to be breaking down the full trailer of Mortal Kombat 1 Chaos Reigns and detailing everything you might have missed throughout the trailer. But before we get into all of that guys, make sure to go ahead and scroll down real quick and hit that like button and make it glow, as it would help me out tremendously. And hopefully you guys can help me hit the goal of 30 likes on this video. I would greatly appreciate the heck out of you guys for doing so, and while you're down there, consider hitting that subscribe button, as we're going to be covering everything Mortal Kombat 1 Chaos Reigns moving forward, along with other AAA games throughout the year, along with hilarious content, playthroughs, and more. But anyways guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the breakdown. First and foremost, we get an awesome image of a stage we're going to be seeing later on here as well. I'm going to call this the Realm Between Realms because this looks amazing. In the back here, we see Sektor and Cyrax, just kind of big chillin', seeing everything like everyone else is. We also seem to have who looks like Scorpion, along with what we know later on in the trailer is World War II Johnny Cage. If you see here, it's kind of like a soldier's helmet right here. This is going to be shown later and in more detail later on in the trailer. Up front, now you guys are going to have to excuse me on this one. The lady in the front here, it looks like purplish pink to me. But I am colorblind, so take that with a grain of salt. So I'm thinking this could be Melina. And they seem to be just getting into this Realm Between Realms portion of the map for whatever reason that the plot's going to be taking them there. Now we're going to go ahead and move forward with the actual trailer itself. Let's see, we have Havoc climbing these stairs. Now these stairs later on in the trailer, they kind of look like the very top of the Temple of Argus here that we kind of fought on at the end of Mortal Kombat 1. So I'm wondering if this is that same Temple of Argus or maybe one from another dimension. One thing that really caught me by surprise here were these heads. I mean, I don't know what's going on with them, but they look massive, right? Are these different timeline titans? Are they elder gods? Or are they related to the one being who we're going to be talking about later on in another video in correlation to the Komidogus that we're going to be seeing later, also known as the Infinity Stones. So here we get the top version of that same Temple of Argus that I'm kind of talking about here. Again, unsure if this is the one that we fought on at the end of MK1 or if this is another one. It seems to have this weird throne or statue at the top. Maybe this is Havoc's throne for his timeline. Again, we're just going to have to wait and see for that. Moving forward, we're going ahead and we're seeing a ton of different Havocs here. Now you can bet that most, if not all of these, are going to be interchangeable gear pieces or straight up costumes that Havoc is going to have. And if you look over here on the top left, we actually have the full original armor set from Havoc in Mortal Kombat Deception, which I thought was super cool. I'm glad we're going to get a chance to throw on this retro gear or costume in general for Havoc. And I'm sure a lot of other Havoc mains are going to be very happy about that. Also, they seem to be in some sort of Colosseum setting. It looks like they're all kind of lined up if you kind of think like ancient Greece or Rome, where you would see people fight in Colosseums. This is kind of what it's reminding me like here. The seats or steps kind of look the same. They're all kind of cheering like they're watching somebody fight, right? So it's very much giving me those kind of Colosseum vibes for what's happening there. I'm going to go ahead and turn on sound for the next part because we're actually going to get a speech from Havoc himself here.
And I choose to bless all beings everywhere with anarchy.
So as you can see there, it really looks like Havoc just wants to have chaos spread absolutely everywhere. And it kind of reminds me, if you guys have ever seen or read or heard about this plotline from Batman, where Joker will essentially try to spread his Joker serum to all of Gotham. That's kind of the vibes that I'm getting from this Chaos Reigns trailer. We're basically getting Mortal Kombat's mentally deranged villain in the form of Havoc, and I'm here for it for sure. So let's go on further into the trailer.
This new Havoc is different from ours. He doesn't want freedom. He wants to burn everything down.
So that part alone already had a ton going on with it. In the background here, we see what seems to be a Chaos version of Kenshi and a Chaos version of Takeda right here. And I don't know if it's just this shot, but it looks like they're his left and right hand man respectively. Along with this, we actually see a top-down version of a captured Garrus from Liu Kang's timeline. It seems like he's going ahead and getting injected with this Chaos Serum right here as well, along with being chained up and unable to move. Here, this shot is deceptively cool because at first I was thinking that it was like a Doc Ock sort of thing from Spider-Man where these tubes or Chaos Serum was coming out of Havoc. But upon further review, it kind of looks like he's just in front of whatever device is actually going ahead and injecting Bihan here with the Chaos Serum. As you can see here, Bihan's looking pretty scared, and I'm pretty sure this is happening against his will. And as you'll see later, we're getting a Bihan that's going down the wrong path, developing further even faster, now being injected with this Chaos Serum and being turned into what I could assume to be a true villain. After that, we're going ahead and getting our first look at the Cyber Ninjas with Sektor here. They are a gender-bent version of the Cyber Ninjas, which I don't really care too much about. I think they still look great. And the design for their actual suits themselves, I think, are amazing. I believe we're going to get some more dialogue here, so let's go ahead and turn on the sound again.
Let real warriors handle this.
Now, real quick, I did have something to say about this. When we're going ahead and seeing here, it says Lin Kuei down here, and of course you've got the Lin Kuei mark or logo as well. But I swear underneath here, it says Industries. It's very hard to see if it actually does say Industries, but I'm pretty sure it has some writing here, and I think this is the T, R, and then the I right there. And I was already saying that this kind of reminds me of an Iron Man suit, especially when he gets the nanotechnology that it can turn into whatever you need. But having Industries down here would give it a next level comparison to Stark and his suit with Stark Industries. Alright, let's keep going with the trailer. Here is something that I think is really cool out of Cyrax. Let's go back a little bit. We're actually getting a first look here that Cyrax and more than likely Sektor as well have this technology built into their suits where they can actually climb any surface or wall with this sort of effect that's coming off of their feet here, which I think is pretty dope. On top of that, we're getting some more cinematic combat here with Cyrax, and it just looks amazing, of course. Here we get our first look at Cyrax's actual gameplay, and let me tell you, I'm on board with everybody else. I am not a fan of the new net for Cyrax. This looks like the one being an elder god, a dragon, something, just sneezed, and he got all these boogers all over you, and you're trying to break yourself free of them. I am not a fan of how it looks. But hopefully the gameplay mechanics of Cyrax will end up being the same, and from the gameplay snippet we get here, it does look like that'll be the case. Here we get them trapped, we get a teleport here that actually drops a bomb, so I'm thinking that's actually a combo extender that you get from using a meter on it. After that, we get another bomb that's thrown onto the character that I'm assuming does a tiny bit of damage, and then blows up above them after the initial contact. As you can see, we still have a bomb in the back here, so after that bomb blows up, it looks like that bomb on the ground's on a timer, blows them up, goes for an air combo, and then finishes it off with that double backflip move that you see Cyrax perform there, which I think looks amazing, super athletic, super cool. Can't wait to see what their moves and kit looks like once they're released. Also, if you look on the background here, it does kind of look like some sort of ceremony, or maybe even the reason that we're getting Wedding Scorpion is being put here. This may be a wedding that's being interrupted. So what I'm thinking is, Sub-Zero still being upset at what happened at the end of Mortal Kombat 1's story is so mad at Scorpion for going ahead and starting his own clan and the arcade ladder endings that happened after MK1's events. So now Scorpion's tying the knot with someone who I'm assuming can only be Harumi, and the Lin Kuei decides to invade the wedding, and this is the stage that we're getting, and they're having it here at one of the temples. Also, another thing I noticed, these things here kind of decorating the temple space really remind me of the arcade ladders that we would do and how they're actually showcased here, and I thought that was pretty neat. Moving on with the trailer, let's see what the next scene is. It is the introduction of Bihan as Noob Saibot. Now, I did have a couple things I wanted to say about the actual look of Bihan here. I think his costume, or how he looks, is just amazing. The ninja robes he have on look really cool. The armor pieces that are there look amazing. The only thing and gripe that I personally have is the green glowing veins. Now, I don't think the color itself or the veins are a problem. I just think they make him look too much like a Revenant from Mortal Kombats of the past. And then when we get the face zoom in also, it very much screams Revenant to me. Which I guess isn't terrible, because it kind of harkens back, like, even if you're a good character at heart, once you turn into a Revenant, you're kind of at the will of whoever made said Revenant. So in this case, we're getting the Revenant version or Chaos version of Bihan here. And from the dialogue that he says, he actually sounds like he's very grateful to Havoc for doing what he does to him after the transformation.
The future is chaos. All must embrace it.
And from just that, it sounds like he's a big fan of what Havoc's doing now. We also have him fighting here a different Chaos version of Sub-Zero, which I'm very curious as to why. My guess is with the Komidogus in play now, they're either trying to get them back or are trying to get the last one for Havoc, and Havoc sent his minions to go do the work, but Bihan's trying to prove himself and trying to get to it first, so he can be like the true and proven right-hand man to Havoc moving forward. That's the only reason I could really see Bihan fighting another chaotic version of Sub-Zero. That, or he's like, there can only be one Sub-Zero, and he's not really Sub-Zero anymore, but he's getting rid of anyone else who's not him. Here we see the fight kind of play out, and this Sub-Zero is getting absolutely dusted. After this, we get a reintroduction here of what seems to be our heroes. Now, from what I can make out here, it looks like this might be Raiden. Yeah, it looks like it might be Raiden here, or Kung Lao, but more than likely Raiden. I think I see the point to the hat. It looks like this universe is Johnny Cage and Scorpion here, and then we have a fourth, but I can't really tell who that is, unless it's someone like Ashra to go ahead and round out the gang. Because as of the trailer, we don't actually see Ashra almost at all. Here we see what seems to be towards the beginning of the DLC of the story trailer here, with Garrus barely getting captured here and hooked up to this machine thing, along with Bihan being dragged in against his will like I stated earlier. So it looks like whatever's happening with the Chaos Serum and why Havoc chooses to inject Bihan with it, it's all against Bihan's will. At least that's what it looks like from here. Especially with this scene where he gets put on the Wheel of Death and Havoc is just intimidating the heck out of him while he's strung up upside down. And then here we go ahead and get some actual backstory from the dialogue in the trailer as well.
You sound like Bihan.
I am he, though not as you remember.
What did Havoc do to you?
He perfected me.
So as I said, Bihan really sounds like he's a fan of Havoc and what he's doing now, and has gone from going down the wrong path to fully going villainous now. Here we get a really amazing shot of what looks like Sektor here and Cyrax here fighting both Noob Saibot and his clone over here on the right. We also get Liu Kang here going ahead and fighting some chaotic versions of different people across the realms. And they're just kind of going in. Then we go ahead and get what I think is one of the coolest set pieces we've seen here yet, which is we're on the map, the Realm Between Realms, right? And now we get a Scorpion and Bihan as Noob Saibot matchup, and it doesn't get more cinematic than this. Here we even get Noob sending out his clone to attack Scorpion, and he's doing a Naruto run while doing it, which I think is just great. After this, he does a throw that goes ahead and brings him backwards. That way you can go ahead and extend this with a combo that can even be carried up and kind of used as a pop-up as well, making Noob a very formidable opponent even at range. Here we get the clearest picture of Havoc that we've seen yet with what the Komidogus are in this universe or timeline, also known as the Infinity Stones. Now we're going to be breaking down this frame and the Komidogus in a later video way more in depth, so definitely stick around for that once that launches. But here we see he has 6 of what is now possibly 7 Komidogus that we have to go ahead and collect. More on that again will be in the video breaking down the Komidogus in this universe. But nonetheless, Havoc being the Thanos of this universe definitely has me excited for what's to come with Mortal Kombat 2 eventually down the line. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and break down the rest of this trailer. Here we have Havoc jumping in against the big 3, Raiden, Liu Kang, and Kung Lao. And it looks like he's giving them a big run for their money. I'm assuming this is going to be like the first time that we see Havoc jump back in after the events of the ending of Mortal Kombat 1. And this seems to be happening in Outworld because this is the Palace stage but more destroyed than the last time that we saw it. It looks like they're carrying out a full-on invasion of Outworld. Here we get to see the fight happen in question, very cinematic, very cool, and if you look in the background, I'm trying to stop the frame at the exact part here. If you look on the background right here, this seems to be when Garrus is getting captured. Garrus is on the right-hand side here, and he's being dragged in by what it looks to be Chaos Takeda, and I'm assuming on the left-hand side is Chaos Kenshi, the right and left-hand men for Havoc that we mentioned earlier. As we go on with the trailer here, we see that Havoc is absolutely kicking ass and even detaching his own head to do so. Here we get our first look at the human version of Cyrax, which I think looks great. After this, we're going ahead and getting some more combat moments here in an Armageddon-style all-out brawl that's happening on the floor here. And with it here, we get our first looks at a clear version of World War II Johnny Cage on the left. Now, I'm not sure if this is an alternate timeline version of him, or this is him coming fresh off of a set and he got dragged into this mess. But either way, this looks to be a full-on skin that we will be having for Johnny Cage once the DLC drops. And on top of that, we also have our first look at the female face for Sektor. Now, one thing that I'm pretty sure about is that Cyrax and Sektor haven't gone the cyber initiative route yet, where their entire bodies are basically the cybernetics or the robotics yet. I do believe that these are just suits, but I could be wrong, but we'll have to go ahead and wait and see, either through the DLC dropping or through future trailers and releases later on down the line, as we get closer and closer to the release date of the DLC for Chaos Reigns. Now we're nearing the end of the trailer here with another big shot of Bihan and Scorpion fighting, and then one of my favorite shots of the entire DLC, we have one of the Havocs banging a gong with his head. I mean, this is just amazing. I'm also at this point not too sure if Cyrax and Sektor are from this timeline. They could be from another timeline coming to help, especially if the Lin Kuei Industries actually pans out being true. If that's the case, I don't think that Lin Kuei have gone industrial in this timeline yet, but again, that's another thing that we're just gonna have to wait and see. And then here we get Bihan versus what looks to be Chaos Takeda, and then Liu Kang in the background versus Chaos Kenshi. So this looks to be like one of the penultimate moments, if you would, for the DLC, where they're finally taking down together the left and right hand man of Havoc. And then here we gotta look at Bihan's fatality, at least one of them, and it does look pretty crazy, although I can't cover it here because YouTube will hit me with the big no-no stick. But other than that, guys, that is it for the Mortal Kombat 1, everything you might have missed, and trailer breakdown for it. I hope you guys did enjoy. And if you found this video informational or entertaining, please make sure to go ahead and scroll down a little bit and hit that thumbs up and make it glow, as it would help me out tremendously. Let me know what you guys think of the trailer down below in the comments. And of course, if I did end up missing anything in the trailer breakdown, let me know in the comment section as well. Anyways, guys, that is it for me today, but I hope you guys did enjoy. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to catch you guys next time. Peace!